A surprising decision has just been announced by Ferrari, a move that immediately shocked the Formula One world. Amidst the spotlight and high expectations, Lewis Hamilton seemed silent, as if he couldn't believe what was happening. What exactly was Ferrari's big decision, and why did it leave Hamilton speechless? Let's discuss it. Hamilton came to Ferrari with a big name, a new spirit and a dream of making history with the most iconic team in F1 history. But the reality of the 2025 season so far has been a recurring nightmare. In the first two races, Hamilton looked like a stranger in the Ferrari cockpit. In Jeddah, he could only finish 7th, more than half a minute behind Charles Leclerc, his teammate who is now the indirect leader of this Ferrari project. And the only hope that shone in the darkness of this performance was the news of a significant upgrade package, a new floor, aerodynamic tweaks, and updates to the car's weight distribution. But now all that is gone. Ferrari confirmed that the upgrades will be postponed until the Imola series, and will not be introduced in Miami, which is a sprint weekend. There is nothing. No answer. Only pain. Those were Hamilton's words after the Saudi GP. In that simple sentence, frustration, confusion, and despair were contained. A seasoned racer, usually calm and calculating, now sounds like someone who is beginning to lose his way. More worryingly, he doesn't see a way out. Hamilton even cancelled his vacation plans to fly directly to Maranello. He wanted to talk directly to the engineers, analyze data in the simulator, and understand why the SF-25 felt like an enemy on the track. But now, when Ferrari decided to postpone the upgrade that might be his only hope, Hamilton's hard work seemed to have hit a thick wall of uncertainty. The SF-25, Ferrari's mainstay car this season, seems to have characteristics that are the opposite of Hamilton's racing style. Hamilton's typical style of aggressive braking, fast corner rotation, and smooth throttle control has no place in this car. Every corner is a battle. Every lap is a battle. Meanwhile, Leclerc, who has been with Ferrari since 2019, seems to adapt more easily. He knows how to talk to the car. And the results are visible. Leclerc has secured several podiums and currently sits comfortably in the top 5 in the standings. There is a very important message behind the decision to postpone the upgrade. Ferrari said that because Miami is a sprint weekend, there is very little time to test new components, only one free practice session before qualifying. They didn't want to take any risks. But that begs the question, if they knew from the start that Miami would be so crowded, why didn't they prepare the upgrade earlier? More pointedly, why not create a special upgrade package tailored to Hamilton's needs and roll it out gradually? When a team really wants to build a long-term project with a driver, they don't hesitate to give him all the tools he needs, as soon as possible. But in this case, Ferrari seems to be playing it safe, putting all its hopes in one place, Imola. With the upgrade postponed to Imola, the Italian Grand Prix is no longer just about the competition. The race at this legendary circuit is now a big stage for Ferrari to prove that they have a clear direction, that they know exactly how to maximize the potential of a world champion like Lewis Hamilton. This is an opportunity for the team from Maranello to show that they are ready to return to the top and that they are able to adapt to the demands of the ever-changing times. The question remains, however, what will happen if the upgrade package they are relying on fails miserably at Imola? What will happen if the gap between Hamilton and his teammate Charles Leclerc remains at a worrying level of over half a second? If, despite the expected improvements, the car still feels wild and inconsistent and continues to destroy tires? This is the critical point where the narrative can change quickly. From the heroic story of a world champion joining a legendary team, an ambitious project that was believed to be able to make history, to the story of a spectacular failure that destroys the big dream of a collaboration that was supposed to write a new chapter in Formula One history. A moment that could change everything, not only for Hamilton, but also for Ferrari and the entire F1 world, which was full of hope for this project. While Ferrari is stuck in its confusion, stalling and trying to understand its future direction, the world outside never stops moving. Time keeps ticking, and faster competitors leave Ferrari no room to fumble. Red Bull, with seemingly unparalleled dominance, still leads the championship. Max Verstappen, who is showing more and more extraordinary performances every day, continues to advance without any obstacles, as if no one could match him. On the other hand, McLaren is showing developments that cannot be ignored. The Woking team, once the underdog, is now showing extraordinary potential and threatening the position of the big teams at the top. Not only are they surviving, but they are beginning to challenge the dominance of the likes of Ferrari and Mercedes. McLaren is quickly becoming one of the most watched teams, with increasingly promising technical innovations and car speed. But even as Ferrari faces difficulties and internal turmoil, there is one team that cannot be ignored: Mercedes. Even though Mercedes is in the midst of an internal crisis that is affecting their stability, the Stuttgart team still has great potential to shake up the top. Their flagging form is now beginning to recover, and while their challenge is not to be taken lightly, Mercedes still has the potential to steal important points throughout the season. Ferrari, for all their ambition, are now at a critical crossroads. They can no longer hope for the ideal weekend that may come without a solid plan. Formula One is moving at a breakneck pace, and they must adapt quickly if they do not want to fall further behind. Every second counts, every decision is critical. In an increasingly competitive world, Ferrari now finds itself on the edge of a precipice, between two big choices: continue with a patient strategy that may take longer, or fall into a decision paralysis that could end their ambitions for the season. Every bad weekend is not just a matter of lost points or a position in the standings. It is a small wound that, if left untreated, can become a deadly infection for the team. Disappointing results are not just recorded on paper, they are etched in the minds of every team member, especially the driver. And the impact goes far beyond statistics. The most vulnerable thing is trust. Trust between drivers and engineers, between crew chiefs and technicians, between dreams and reality. Communication that once ran smoothly can turn to doubt. Strategic instructions can be questioned. Even the smallest decision to change the car's settings can trigger a hidden conflict. Even more dangerous is the effect on team spirit. The hard-won winning mentality can collapse in an instant. The aura of confidence that once surrounded the garage can turn into pressure and anxiety. And when the spirit begins to fade, the internal chemistry, the foundation of any successful project, will crack. Ferrari faces challenges not only from its rivals on the track. They also face threats from within, the psychological and emotional fragility that comes from failure after failure. If they do not find a solution soon, it is not impossible that this situation will develop into a crisis. And this is the greatest fear: to lose Lewis Hamilton. Not only physically, because a driver can leave at any time if he no longer feels appreciated, but more importantly, to lose him psychologically. When motivation begins to disappear, when confidence in the Ferrari project fades, all that is left is Hamilton without a fighting spirit. If Ferrari does not turn things around immediately, they will not only lose points. They could lose the heart of their ambitious project, a world champion who arrived with great expectations, but who could leave an irreplaceable void. Ferrari's surprise decision raises more questions than it answers. With time running out and hope fading, every move the team makes could be critical to its future. If Ferrari fails to turn things around, they will lose not only crucial championship points, but also the trust that has begun to fray between drivers, engineers, and the team. So will Ferrari be able to overcome the doubts that now surround them and return to winning ways, or will this ambitious project end in a painful failure, destroying the great hopes that have been built? Is this really the beginning of a great story of failure in Maranello? Leave your thoughts below.